Welcome to Math 1324. This is section 4.4, and the goal in this section is to understand how to operate on two matrices. How do we add and subtract two matrices? How do we multiply a matrix by a number? And how do I multiply two matrices together? And when is it even possible to do so? In question 1 here, we want to find B minus A. And they are giving me these two matrices. Matrix A, it has 2 rows, 2 columns, so it is 2 by 2. And matrix B is also 2 by 2. Whenever the matrices are the same size, then you can add and subtract with no problem. So to form B minus A, I simply take and I subtract element by element. So minus 4 minus 4, that's a minus 8. 6 minus 2, that's a 4. 9 minus 1, that's an 8. And I've got a negative 1 minus 5, and I get minus 6. All right, so looking here in question 2, they are giving me two matrices, and they're saying, well, can we add these two together? And the answer is yes, because they are both exactly the same side. So how do we do it? Well, again, term by term. All right, let's take a look. 2 add a minus 8. Yes, that is a minus 6. Minus 8 add 8. That is 0. 5 add 5 is 10. And 0 add minus 4 is minus 4. Okay. So in question 3, they want us to find the product of the following matrices, and they want us to know, is it even possible? Well, let's take a look here. We have in the first matrix, it is 2 by 2. The second matrix only has one column, but it has 2 rows. Now, we are able to multiply two matrices together whenever the number of columns of the first one matches the number of rows in the second one. So you see here, we do match. I've got a 2 and a 2. I can tell you how big the answer must be, and that's the outside two numbers there. And so the answer will be 2 by 1. Now, how do we get it? Well, this particular element here is in the 1, 1 position. So that means I'm going to take row 1 here, and I'm going to multiply it by column 1. I do it term by term. So 7 times minus 8, that's a minus 56. I've got a 9 times 4, which is 36. And minus 56 plus 36 is minus 20. And that's that position. So again, think of this as in position C1, 1. And that tells you you need row 1 of the first, column 1 of the second. This element, where is it? This element is in the second row, first column. So that means I need to take row 2 of the first, multiply it by column 1 of the second. So minus 6 times minus 8, that's a positive 48. 7 times 4 is 28, and if I add that up, I get 76. So again, I am looking at what am I going to get, and then I match up what row and column is going to give me that thing. All right, what about looking at example 1 here? First matrix is 2 by 2. This matrix has 1, 2, 3 rows, 1 column. I can't do the multiplication because the number of columns in the first does not match the number of rows in the second. What about example 2? Let's see. This has 2 rows. It has 3 columns, and so it is 2 by 3. This one is 1, 2, 3 rows, 1 column. So yes, the multiplication does make sense because this 3 matches that 3. And so the answer comes from the outside part. And so the outside is 2 by 1. So again, this place is C11. So I would need first row multiplied by first column. This element is in the second row, first column. And so I would take the second row, multiply it by the first column to figure out what that item is. All right, what about question 4 here? Let's see. Question 4 is, this is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2. Inside numbers do match, and so the answer would be 2 by 2. So let's see. My answer would look like this. And so how do I get the numbers? Well, let's see. A11, I would take first row times first column. So 5 times 2 is 10, but 0 times 6 is 0, so I just get 10. A12, that means I need the first row, second column. Let's see, 5 times 4 is 20, 0 times 8 is 0, so I just get a 20. A21, second row, first column. All right, let's see, second row, first column, 0 times 2, well, that's 0, and 5 times 6 is 30. And the last one, A22, all right, second row, second column, so 0 times 4, well, that's 0, and a 5 times 8, and that's a 40. All right, what about 5 here? Let's see. In question 5, I have 1 row, but 2 columns, so it's a 1 by 2. This one has 1, 2 rows, 1 column. The inside number matches, so the answer is 1 by 1. Well, what is it? Well, let's see. 8 times minus 2 is a minus 16, plus minus 3 times minus 1. That's a positive 3. And when I add that up, I get a negative 13. All right, what about 6 here? Is this possible? Let's see. A is 2 by 2, 2 rows, 3 columns, so 2 by 3. B is 2 by 2. Well, look, inside numbers don't match, and so the multiplication is not possible. All right, what about 7 here? In 7, they want me to find b squared. Well, b squared simply means take b and multiply it by itself. All right, so again, b11, I've got minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. All right, so that's going to give me a 16 in that position. Let's see, B12. Okay, first row, second column. Minus 2 times 4, that's a minus 8 plus 4. And minus 8 plus 4 is a negative 4. B21. All right, second row, first column. 3 times minus 2 is a minus 6. 1 times 3 is 3, and minus 6 plus 3 is a negative 3. All right, and finally B22, let's see, second row, second column. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1, and yes, we do get 13. All right, question 8. Question 8 says, I want to figure out a B, a C, and a D. And I want them to work out in such a way that if I multiply these two matrices together, I'm supposed to get this last one. And so our goal is to figure out, well, what is A, B, and C? Well, the way to think about this is, how did I get that minus 2? I got that minus 2 because it's in the 1, 1 place by multiplying together the first row and the first column. And so that would be 1 times A is A minus C must equal to that item. So it gives me one piece of information about what A and C can be. All right, well, let's see. What about C12? C12 is I have first row, second column. So 1 times B, well, that's just B, minus D, and that must equal to minus 1. All right, and if you do that for C22 and C21 and C22, then you get these other equations. And if you look at that for a moment, it hopefully should look familiar that you have a system of two equations and two unknowns. In the first one, you've got something involving A and C, and in the second one, you have something involving B and D. All right, so, well, I decided, looking here, I'd like to make those guys cancel. So I'm going to multiply all the way through by a minus 2. All right, so when I do that, what happens? Well, those cancel. 3 minus 2 is A. 4 minus 4 is 0. Oh, okay. Well, if A is 0, I've got 0 minus something is a negative 2. And so that gives me that C is 2. What about the other one? Let's see. I'm looking at what would be easy to cancel. I could get rid of the B's, but I decided to multiply through by negative 2. So when I did that, those canceled. 3 minus 2 is 1B. 2 minus 1 is 1, and so I get B is 1. And so now if you plug it in, let's see, 1 minus D is minus 1. If I move the 1 over, I get a minus 2. So minus D is equal to minus 2. So multiply both sides by a negative 1, and I get D is 2. So Now I know what A, B, and C are, and if I multiplied these two things together, I should get the final matrix there on the end. And that concludes what we wanted to learn today about how do we add, subtract, multiply matrices by numbers, them together, and add and subtract.